What up, everybody? It's your boy Tom here, back with the video that I'm kind of being forced into making before I'm allowed to make my very 5th YouTube video. I didn't make the rules, so what are you gonna do? Sue me, I guess. Anyway, I've teased y'all with the Coil's general concepts and themes a little, but I figured, why not get into the meat of it a little bit more? Give you more of what you want. Okay? Now, I'm going to preface this by saying this is not going to be a feast, you greedy little bastards, okay? Don't get ahead of yourselves. It's just an appetizer, like whet your palate, let you know that the things are moving and shaking and cool stuff is coming along. Alright, anyway, let's check it out. We're going to go over the 6 aspects of soul in the game, and those are birth, growth, decay, sun, moon, sky. Birth, growth, decay, sun, moon, sky. 6, I counted right. Anyway, in case you forgot, these aspects, I think I was calling them soul types before, these aspects have a mechanical function similar to the 5 colors in Magic the Gathering. You can put any combination of them in your deck that you want, but there's the soft restriction that, if you don't have the right shrines, resources, to pay for the certain type, the certain aspect, then you won't be able to play that card. I arrived at these 6 aspects based on the world building that I had done previously and continued developing after starting the Coil. And specifically off of like these 6 in-game religious figures that maybe we'll get into in a later video. For now, though, let's just dive into breaking down what these 6 aspects are all about, and then afterwards we can go through, do a little wrap-up where I sort of touch base on what kinds of mechanics each aspect may have in-game. Birth represents the aspects of soul relating to creation. This can look like spawning new life, or even the creation of false bodies that could house soul, like a homunculus. Birth can also be a little more subtle than that, however, such as manifesting certain events. That could look like somebody with unnatural luck, or even somebody that is manipulating fate itself. A unique phenomenon of birth is the way that it leads to the creation of demons. So in some cases where there are multiple, like, very emotionally charged events that converge upon one another, a demon can form. Not much is known about them other than the fact that they seem to rely on the specific emotion that led to their creation, like food almost. They can take on widely varying forms, and each individual demon won't necessarily embody like birth aspects of soul, but by definition, the conception event of a demon is a characteristic of birth. Shrines to hope are built in order to declare piety to the aspect of birth, celebrating both its uplifting nature and how it can mislead or misguide those who get intoxicated by the beauty. Growth represents the adaptability of soul. This is evident in the way that there are vessels suited to live in all types of environments. But there are also creatures that can adapt and change their own bodies in order to match the circumstances as they come. Some can even have complete control over this sort of shape-shifting ability. As the name suggests, the growth aspect can be evidenced by vessels that grow to enormous size, over time accruing and accumulating more soul than their physical bodies should be capable of handling on their own. There are even those who over time can cultivate the ability to produce and or harness more soul, strengthening their will and their body in the process. Shrines to ambition are erected to show piety to the aspect of growth. They speak to the great heights that can be achieved through versatility and tenacity, but also the shameful depths that too many fall to in the pursuit of greatness at any cost. The heck, Joy? Decay embodies the finite and imperfect nature of soul. Vessels cannot contain soul forever, and eventually they all perish. Soul itself is a limited resource and must be recycled for new life to begin. This aspect often takes the form of diseases and toxins, the uncomfortable but necessary modes for ensuring the end of a life. Rituals of sacrifice harness the energy released from soul leaving a dying vessel, and celebrate the beauty and majesty inherent in this often ugly end to the cycle. There are also those unfortunate vessels who refuse to end when their soul has fled them, often as a result of attempting to transcend death. There are even those who have succeeded in persisting beyond this natural cycle and maintain their consciousness in a new life. Shrines to regret declare piety to the aspect of decay, the bittersweet longing of a loved one who has passed, with the knowledge that their sacrifice will give the gift of new life, as well as the guilt of leaving unfinished business behind when you die. Sun exemplifies the passion and drive that soul fuels within vessels. Whether it is through fear, excitement, or pain, strong emotion often brings with it a surge of strength and energy. Vessels that learn to harness that power can utilize it to push themselves beyond any natural limit. They can quicken their reflexes, solidify their resolve, and strengthen their bodies. There are also many that can externalize that energy and use it to inflict direct harm onto others. Or they could even imbue their weapons with a supernatural effectiveness in battle. This aspect lends vessels speed, strength, and endurance, but it often comes at great cost. And due to this, flagellation is a very common practice for those who want to harness the fire of soul. Shrines to fervor mark piety to the aspect of sun, glorifying that force in all life, driving it past its breaking point, and the tenuous balance of that energy. Therefore, it also warns of the dangers of losing control. Moon represents the inquisitive essence of soul. Through curiosity, vessels can learn to master the environment they inhabit. The ability to look into possible branches of the future, or even gaze into the events of the past. Even the ability to look into the minds of those around them are all within the realm of this aspect. Forms of telepathy and even mind control can be achieved through moon-aspected soul, but those are exceedingly rare. More commonly, though, are those that create illusions by exploiting certain weaknesses within the minds of their victims. Invisibility, cloning, and the induction of hallucinations are common ways this kind of manipulation takes form. Shrines to doubt are constructed to show piety to the aspect of moon, acknowledging the sharp skepticism that one needs in order to gain a competitive advantage, and the desire to hoard that knowledge and those secrets from others for fear that they wouldn't be able to handle it, and worse, the fear of what they may do if they could handle that knowledge better than you. Sky embodies the fickle nature of soul. Day always passes to night, and the wind always changes. The same breath that stokes a flame can scour a mountain to nothing. Similarly, vows are made to be broken, and all empires fall. Vessels that utilize this aspect understand the myths that are order and permanence, asserting their will in spite of them, if only for a moment. Feats of impossibility such as teleportation, conjuration, and the traversal of time are all within the bounds of this aspect, as long as one knows exactly where and how to bend the rules. While these acts can be great, this aspect produces nothing lasting. Instead, it thrives on compressing the potential of many cycles of life down into fantastic but momentary displays. However, this doesn't mean that the effects of these acts do not linger in our memories. Those vessels that truly master this aspect understand how the echoes of their deeds will work for them long after they are done. Shrines to conceit declare piety to the aspect of sky, alluding to the power of one's own individual will, and also the dangers of falling to that self-obsession. Y'all with me still so far? No? Yes? Good. Either way, because I'm going to move on, and I'm not actually talking to you. This is pre-recorded. So let's just hop into what kind of mechanics you may or may not see in the game. Birth mechanics will include things such as shrine production, token creation, and generating resources that give you value or even hinder your opponent. Growth mechanics will involve things such as vessels gaining new keywords or getting higher stats, things like producing extra soul, or even cards that can transform and adapt to a changing game state. Decay mechanics will utilize such things as sacrificing your vessels, using the crypt as a resource of its own, and draining away the tools at your opponent's disposal. Sun mechanics will include such things as direct damage, symmetrical effects, usually negative symmetrical effects, as well as refreshing exhausted resources, so something that you may have already used this turn. Moon mechanics will it probably include things like permission, which is like discards or counter spells, deck manipulation like scrying, organizing the cards on top of the hold, as well as copying cards. Sky mechanics will include discarding cards for value or getting extra value at the cost of having to discard cards now or maybe at the end of turn. Uh, Cheating on mana or soul to temporarily put something into a play for much less than it would normally cost, and stunning or bouncing opponents' cards. Now, none of these mechanics are necessarily set in stone. Let me itch my frickin' nose first because I decided I need to do that while talking to you. Anyway, mechanics not set in stone necessarily, but I do really like the sort of individual nature that the aspects are taking on, and I'm pretty happy with the different archetypes and play styles that I've been trying to design. But it really depends on if they hold up in playtesting, which is actually something we can do now because my twin brother Will made a playable sandbox version of the Coil, so we can really start getting down to the nitty-gritty and the details and figuring this thing out, which is so sick. My hope is that at the end of the day, each aspect has its individual strengths and weaknesses. And while they may lean one play style versus another, like maybe more controlling, more aggressive, you get it. While they may lean one way versus another, I want each aspect to feel as if it could be useful in multiple play styles. So, let me know how you're feeling about the 6 aspects. Are they cool? Are you confused? Are they dumb? Please just comment below. I beg you. Also, you probably saw these 6 symbols, icons that I made that denote the aspects, and those are some that I just drafted up recently. Are they cool? If not, then you're dumb, basically. No, but seriously, if you like those and you want to see more about that in the process, I recorded that process, some time lapse, some like actual recording of me drawing, which is pretty cool, I know. And I'm making a video on that, which hopefully by the time you're watching this is done and dusted and out exclusively for Patreon members. So please check that out. The link will definitely be down in the description below. Finally, just want to say, as always, thank you so much for freaking watching and joining me. I'm so glad that you are following along in this journey, and please hit that heart button or a thumbs up. This is YouTube or Patreon. Anyway, like this video if you liked it, ring the bell notification things, hit subscribe, because I am a shameless corporate shill. Bye.